On today's video, we find out if the SuperATV Rhino 2.0 axles are really built for battle. Here on the XMARGH channel. Stay tuned, guys. Welcome to the XMARGH channel, guys. So, video review for you today. So if you're following one video ago, you know that I broke an axle. So let's play that clip right now. All right, guys. So with that being said, you guys seen the video clip? Here we are. So CV held up real well, no problems. This is the second axle I break now. But as you can see, the axle bar broke. Going right into the CV cage, boom, snap. Sound like a shotgun going off. Let me tell you, when something like that breaks, wow. It's definitely your butt cheeks clench and you're like, how much is this gonna cost me? But glad it was just an axle. You know, it's the second time that this has happened to me with the axle bars breaking. So definitely a weak spot on these RZRs, despite all the upgrades that Polaris has done. And you know, that leads us in our video today and you know, why I've decided to upgrade. All right. So it came the daunting task for me to find replacement axles for this RZR. Now, I did a lot of research into finding which axle would actually work really well for me. Now, what I found is there's three categories of aftermarket axles. Now, the first category would be your OEM replacement axle. You know, you're looking at companies like Cobra and Bronco and the Rhino 1.0, the original Rhinos, and there's so many manufacturers out there. And then you step up to a heavy-duty replacement. That's where this Rhino 2.0 axle fits in. It's going to be a lot stronger than your OEM replacements, 100% stronger than your factory OEM axle, but not quite at the third tier. You know, when you get into the third tier of axles, you're looking at something like Turner axles. You know, you're looking at like $600 US per axle. You know, just beastly items, but really overpriced for an enthusiast like myself. Is going to be putting these axles through. You also have to remember that with some of these really high price axles, you really have to custom order them because, you know, if you're a desert rider, you know, you're going to be wide open throttle. You're not going to want to get a lot of heat in those CV joints. So that's where the issue comes, is that, or I guess you could say the solution comes with these Rhino 2.0s, where you can run them, you know, 70 miles per hour. You can thrash them on rocks and you can put them through the mud. And these axles are going to hold up. But what I wanted to do for you guys today is, in my research on YouTube, there was really video reviews on them, but it was like, hey, here it is installed. And, you know, SuperATV had some media out there saying how great they were and all the testing and, you know, the engineering and the testing time. But I wanted to put a stock axle against the Rhino and show you guys just how beastly these things are. You know, I wanted to do some measurements, I wanted to do some lengths, wanted to do some weights, to really give you guys a good idea of what these things are like. Even though you can't be here, hopefully I can help you guys kind of make the decision on these or not. So stand by, we're going to go ahead and start getting some measurements on these. All right, guys, so I have the axles laid out in front of you. So what you're looking at here is a SuperATV Rhino 2.0 axle. This is a rear axle for a RZR 1000 from years 2014 to 2018. What you have behind you is a 2018 RZR XP 1000 axle. So Polaris has really beefed up their axles over the past few years, and especially in 18 they released some even tougher axles. So these things got a good size to the axle bar. They've got a good size in their CV cup, and generally they've put out, you know, these things have been really good for me this year. Now, the one issue that I'm having, or I've had, is that I'm breaking the axle bars going into the cage. So the CVs themselves are not breaking, but the axle bars are. And I have to assume that's some sort of heat treatment where they put a weak spot in it. You know, so unfortunately, can't have that. Really ruins a ride when you start breaking axles. So I went ahead and, you know, ordered this Rhino 2.0 axle. You can get these things from your local Kimpex dealer. They have a full line of SuperATV accessories and parts. They come right around, you know, depending where you shop, you'll be right around $300 for one of these axles. So it's not too bad. You know, it's not the cheapest axle, but it's no Turner axle in price either. I think this is a really good price point for these heavy duty axles. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get a straight edge here. We're going to make sure we're right at the edge, and we're just going to measure these things for length. And, you know, give or take, these things are around, you know, 30¼ inches. You know, it's not real accurate, but that's pretty much what it is. And the factory axle here, let's get this screwed in a little bit. Yeah, and these are about, you know, 29 5/8, we'll say. So a little bit longer on the Rhino 2.0s. That's probably a good thing. If these axles are shorter, I'd really worry about them pulling out. And considering they're just a tad bit longer, that's never going to be a bad thing. So let's go ahead, guys. Let's get my caliper meter on here and let's do some comparisons. All right, guys, so we are going to go ahead and do some measurements. This is something that I really didn't see in a lot of videos, was a size comparison. So this 2018 shaft getting measured against the Rhino 2.0 shaft. We'll go ahead and check the CV here that is against the axle, against the rear differential, to see what kind of size we have. So we're going to put this in here the best we can, as far down as we can. And we're right around almost 76 millimeters. You know, we'll do the best we can to get in there. Yeah, 75.94 is about what we get. We'll move this out of the way. We'll go ahead and measure the SuperATV. We'll bottom this out as much as we can. And we're right around 83.94, almost 84 millimeters. So definitely a good size increase on this. Let's go ahead, flip these axles around, and let's measure the other side. All right, guys, welcome back. So we got these flipped around. You can really see the beef when it comes to the wheel side, the wheel hub side. Compared to the factory ones, they look so small compared to the size of these SuperATVs. Just the material here, I feel pretty confident with these things. But we're going to go ahead and get a measurement here on the thickest part. Let's do it so you guys can actually see it here. So, bottom this out, make sure I'm not on the boot. Right around 80.84. We'll go over to the SuperATV. 84.06, so a good 4 millimeter gain. And just the width, the taper here, you can just tell how beefy these things are. So let's go ahead and now we'll also do the axle bar. Now on the axle bar, I don't see too much difference here. The axle bar is really big on the 2018, but let's take a look anyway. So we're going to go ahead and measure here. We're right around 26 millimeters. And we'll go ahead and measure this one right around 25 millimeters. So just slightly bigger in the Rhino 2.0. All right, guys, so we're back. And, you know, to talk about these axles, you know, and give you those measurements, it's really hard to tell how much more beefy they are. So I decided, let's break out the weigh scale. Listen, this is not going to be super scientific, but I think this is going to give you guys a good idea to how much more beef there is on this axle. So just a digital weigh scale. We'll go ahead and wake it up. There we go. Going to use some paint cans. Got about the same weight in them. So it doesn't matter how much these cans weigh because both axles will be set on them. I just think this will probably be a pretty easy way for me to do it. So let's go ahead and measure the stock axle. We're going to go ahead and set it up on top here. I got to get it so it sits. There we go. So 12.8 pounds. Let's just do that one more time just to ensure. This scale is really accurate, so I'm sure it'll be the same. Yeah. So factory axle, 12.8 pounds. So let's go ahead. We'll put this guy down. And now let's do the SuperATV axle. So Rhino 2.0s. I can feel how much heavier they are. Let's try it. Try not to break the scale if this thing falls. 14.6. Let's try it again. 14.6, almost 2 pounds heavier. So you can really feel it when you pick it up. You can really feel that it definitely has those extra almost 2 pounds. So definitely a lot stronger. All right guys, so one of the other things I wanted to mention on these axles is the TPEE boots. These are going to be much more durable than your factory rubber boots, less prone to punctures if they're rubbing on sticks and things like that. So that's one of the upgrades that most axle manufacturers put on here, and the SuperATV Rhino 2.0s are no different. So a couple of things that you guys need to know about these axles is, you know, one of the main things that I found was that they offer an 18-month warranty. That's pretty awesome. Now, in the first 60 days of the warranty, SuperATV will send you a new axle or replacement part free of charge. Now, after the 60 days, up until 18 months, there is a $50 charge to send it in. But that's actually not bad. 18 months, no questions asked. You break it, they replace it. That's a really great warranty in today's industry, and it kind of shows you that they're supporting these axles. I like those kinds of warranties. You always get a fear, you know, when you bring an axle in, you're like, oh, they're probably going to say I abused it, or, you know. SuperATV is like, hey, these things are built for battle, and they stand behind it with a warranty. So that's super great for me as a consumer. Now, disclaimer, I bought this with my own money. SuperATV is not paying me for this video. But with all things, when I get a really great product, when I think something fits well, when it looks well, when it works well, I always do a video review for you guys to let you know what my thoughts are on it. This product is no different. I've got the first rear axle here to replace the broken one, and I'm going to go ahead and also swap the rest of the 3 out. So I'll be running the Rhino 2.0s in all 4 corners this year. So it's definitely a good option for you guys to check out. Like I said, if you're in the States, you can go to SuperATV along with all their dealers. In Canada, there's quite a few dealers that are available, including your local Kimpex dealer where I picked this up from my dealership. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I hope this video was helpful. I hope that I got a chance to show you guys some of the, you know, diameter differences and weights, and you guys get to see axle comparison, which I hadn't seen in any YouTube video yet. So I hope this is helpful. Stay tuned to the channel, guys. We got more things coming up. St. Charles videos coming up next. So I appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Thanks for watching, guys.